Hey guys, Martaker here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so I haven't really made a video talking about Sparking Zero at all on this channel since the trailers and things like that have started releasing. I know a bunch of people, if you come out to the live streams, people have asked about it, we've talked about it on streams before, so for anyone who was curious, like I will be getting it, I will be playing it, probably playing it on the second channel. But of course, everybody, you know, all Dragon Ball creators, whether it's Dokkan, Dragon Ball in general, a lot of people have been making videos talking about Sparking Zero stuff, and I haven't really done anything touching on it yet, but there is one thing, because I talked about this on the podcast with Minato and Theo a bit. We talked about it a bit last night, and I talked about it a bit, I think, on a previous episode after one of the trailers had come out, where I've kind of been not watching a lot of the stuff because I kind of want to, well, not be surprised, because of course I do end up seeing a bunch of stuff on Twitter and things like that, but I know I'm going to get the game anyway, right? So I just kind of want to experience it with as fresh eyes as possible. But I did watch the Summer Games Fest event that was on recently, and they did show a Sparking Zero trailer during that, and during that trailer there was one bit in particular that really interested me, and I know a lot of people are really excited about, that I wanted to talk about in relation to Dokkan, because of course it's kind of like a meme at this point. Wherever any new kind of Dragon Ball content of any kind comes out, then the meme of course is that Dokkan Twitter and Dokkan creators in general and stuff are like, well, what does this mean for Dokkan? Like, are we going to get these new things in the game? So the big thing that has a lot of people talking and a lot of people very hyped, I think it starts about here, yep. So after we get these clips of various different events that happen in the course of the show, we then get this section here, Reclaim New Possibilities. So this is all about the what if sections in the game. And as you can see from the trailer, there are a few different ones that they tease here. I know Minato made a video going over what ifs that he would like to see in Sparking Zero. So not Dokkan related, but just related to Sparking Zero itself. So definitely do go check that out. But there's a couple of things here that obviously we go back into the sort of canon stuff here, but if we go back to 48 and take a look at this very first one, so the very first one that shows in the trailer here is during the beginning of the Saiyan saga, literally the very beginning of Dragon Ball Z. Piccolo obviously goes with Goku to fight Raditz, which of course ends with Piccolo using the special beam cannon and killing both Goku and Raditz, sending Goku to the other world where he ends up training with King Kai. But you can see here, you can choose the option to go with Piccolo, which is the canon branch of the story, or go alone. And you can see here, if you do decide to go alone, Krillin comes with you. So straight away, we open up the possibility here for a what-if character of having a Goku and Krillin card, which of course, based on the setting of where this takes place, this unit would be a Saiyan Saga card, they'd be on Turtle School, Bond of Friendship, there's a few categories that they would share. Obviously they would both be, since they both are Earthbred fighters, the card would be on that category as well. Because, of course, when we start mixing Saiyans with Earthlings, like, some of the categories do get dropped off. But Earthbred Fighters is, of course, one that does include Goku and Gohan, and, of course, Goten. So this kind of card would be very cool, Goku and Krillin together. The link set maybe would be a bit interesting, but, I mean, they've done it in the past where they've given characters a link that maybe isn't quite right. Like, you know, we wouldn't necessarily imagine a card that had Krillin involved would have prepared for battle, but like the link set for this unit could be very good, depending on how the fight of course plays out in the game. One of the great things about Sparking Zero coming out is that there's a whole new wealth of super attack animations and stuff, right, that can be taken from this game and put into Dokkan, right? So Goku and Krillin together is certainly an interesting one. Definitely could be a cool summonable LR. I mean, I guess if we're talking about Sparking Zero characters coming to Dokkan, I don't know whether we would just get like a specific Sparking Zero crossover celebration. Maybe like the Heroes celebration, where rather than getting specifically like a Dokkan Fest, we get a banner that has like a couple of characters on it. That would be kind of cool. But yeah, I could see these guys being an interesting unit, and because of their placement in the story, they would be on the Saiyan side. I don't know what their, I guess, I'm not sure, I'm trying to think off the top of my head if we have any examples of what if characters in the game that, I mean, the Gohan and Goku, the Super Saiyan 2 ones, that from Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 in the active skill, but Goku's still alive. That card is still in the Android/Cell saga, even though that didn't happen. So there's no reason to assume that this unit wouldn't be in the Saiyan saga as well. And then, of course, another unit that would be on the Saiyan saga is coming up next here, where the Ozaru Vegeta actually kills Krillin, and then Goku goes Super Saiyan. Now, this one is a bit more of a, it's less of a what if in terms of the contents of the card itself, right? Because it's not like we haven't ever gotten a Super Saiyan Goku before. But what would be very interesting is whether he has it as a transformation or an intro, then obviously we could have this whole thing with Krillin. Obviously wouldn't necessarily be the Ozaru Vegeta, right? It wouldn't even necessarily have to include the enemy at all. But have a intro or transformation of Krillin getting taken out, and then Goku going Super Saiyan. And this would be interesting because whilst the card would of course just be a Super Saiyan Goku, the card would also be on the Saiyan saga, which is certainly an interesting one because we wouldn't have any Super Saiyan characters to link them up with, but certainly would be a quite interesting card to have on the Saiyan saga team. And of course, obviously, then he's going to be on these other teams like Super Saiyans, probably Exploding Rage, Miraculous Awakening, like all of that kind of stuff. Revenge even, maybe, who knows. Although I guess, is Super Saiyan Namek Goku on Revenge against Frieza? Because if not, then this guy wouldn't be, I guess. But this is another interesting one. It's less of a what if in terms of, like I say, the contents of the card. Because I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but we don't actually have a Goku and Krillin that isn't like DB Saga related, do we? So that one is obviously a fresh like pairing of characters, especially from Z. Whereas obviously this is just a Super Saiyan Goku, but certainly could still be very interesting. Then we have this one from, I guess this is like the end of the Cell games, where instead of it being Gohan and being Goku and Gohan related, it's Vegeta and Trunks doing a father-son final flash. This would be awesome for Dokkan because obviously not only would it be, as we've been talking about with these what ifs, if they are going to do that with these cards, they would be on the Android/Cell saga, which would be a good buff for that team. Obviously characters like Tech Trunks, who wants those Android/Cell saga allies, but this would be a unit that would be a uniquely named character because obviously we do have an LR Vegeta and Trunks, but it's from the Future Saga and Vegeta is a Super Saiyan Blue, whereas in this they're both just Super Saiyan. They're not chunky enough to be their super forms, so they're just Super Saiyan Vegeta and Super Saiyan Trunks. And then of course their super attack would be the father-son final flash, which is certainly an interesting one, right? I guess at this point in the what if, because I know Vegeta cards in Dokkan don't get Bond of Parent and Child until after Cell kills Trunks and then Vegeta goes crazy. And then every Vegeta from that point on in the story, at least in Dokkan, is on the Bond of Parent and Child category. But you would assume this card will be, because we only get a snippet of what this what if is going to be. But obviously the two of them working together to fight back against Cell would make sense for them to be on there. And then, of course, you know, they're going to be on Vegeta Family, which is a team that's gotten a lot of buffs thanks to the Saiyan Day Vegeta and that team. So that would certainly be a really cool card to see as well. And then I think the other main one, I think it's only teased. I actually don't think you can quite tell, like, where the fight is taking place. Because we see UI Goku and then we see God Vegeta. But then it goes on to, like, a whole bunch of other characters. But the release, if I can find a picture, I'll just throw it up on the screen here. But one of the special editions of Sparking Zero comes with a statue of UI Goku versus Broly. So I don't know if this is supposed to be the last part of like the what ifs like thing, but a what if of like UI Goku versus Broly would be kind of awesome. Now, again, it's very much like the Super Saiyan Goku versus the Great Ape Vegeta, where the character itself is not a unique character, right? Like we've got UI Goku in the game already. But if they are going to follow along with giving these what if characters like the categories from the scenario that what if takes place, then obviously this guy would be on movie heroes as well as superheroes, which is kind of interesting. I guess it's in terms of just the character itself, it's just going to be another UI Goku, which I think is where the impact is maybe lost on both this guy and the Super Saiyan Goku card, because at least the Super Saiyan Goku card, if you have the intro of Krillin getting taken out, obviously the background can be like the wasteland from where they fight in the Saiyan Saga. It's still kind of tied into that what if, whereas for this Goku, Unless Broly's like in the animation or something, it's basically just going to be a UI Goku like transforming into UI in the battlefield area from the Broly movie. So be interesting to see what they do in terms of all these what ifs. I know another thing that I haven't seen a huge amount of details about it, because again I've been avoiding seeing too much stuff, but it seems like there's a full-on what if, like basically it seems like cutscene creator. I don't know how correct that is. I remember like an old Metal Gear game had that, where you could recreate cutscenes from the game, but you could replace the characters with any of the sprites from the character library, which could obviously make for some pretty funny cutscenes. But yeah, if Sparking Zero has something like that, that'd actually be crazy, because the amount of content that we're going to get out of this game will be insane. Because obviously, like I say, I'll be making videos for it. They'll be on the second channel, because even though it's a Dragon Ball game, like this channel obviously primarily is for Dokkan. So we'll be doing Sparking Zero content on the second channel. But if you're able to make these like what if cutscenes and stuff, depending how long they are and how good they are, I can see like people making just whole videos just of those, because we know that in the community, like what if videos and stuff from people like, you know, Masako X, I don't know how much of that he does anymore, but there's a whole bunch of people like that. There's people that have been doing that stuff for ages, like what if this happened in this scenario, making a YouTube video out of it. But now potentially we're going to have the ability to make actual like in-game animated scenes of like what would happen in this kind of scenario. So there's definitely a lot of very interesting what if stuff related to Sparking Zero that seems very interesting. How much of that is going to translate over to Dokkan, I don't know, because with something like Fighters and Legends, it's much easier for them to do collabs with Dokkan and Heroes, of course, because they have unique characters that can come across, right? Like we got 21 in Dokkan with the Fighters collab. We've never had a Legends collab. Still would be kind of awesome to have Charlotte in Dokkan. And then, of course, the Heroes units, which who knows what's going on with that after this year with the Heroes arcade game being discontinued now. But yeah, a Sparking crossover celebration would be super cool. I imagine they'll do something in the game like they did with Breakers, where we just had like login bonuses and a wallpaper and stuff. Like they'll probably do something in the game to celebrate the release of Sparking Zero. But whether we get any actual in-game like Dokkan content for it is obviously another question. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What other what ifs would you like to see in Sparking Zero, which could then of course potentially come to Dokkan? I know it's a popular thing that has been in some of the older Budokai games. One of the ones we talked about on stream is where Cell is waiting in the ring, like in those days leading up to the Cell games, and has a nightmare where he accidentally absorbed Krillin instead of 18 and became like a tiny little orange Cell. And then I think you have to fight Yamcha and Tien. So things like that back in the day, like that would be the kind of thing that for, you know, like an April Fool's card or a mini crossover or whatever, we could have seen units like that little orange Cell come to the game. So with Sparking Zero seemingly going to be as big as it's making out, like it's the only thing people are really talking about on the timeline in the community at the moment. So with how big this is going to be, it would be kind of crazy for them to not do some kind of collab celebration, even if it doesn't bring new units, just to bring some more hype to the game. But I guess we will have to see. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section on what ifs you would like to see in Sparking Zero and potentially coming to Dokkan. I do think like a Goku and Krillin Namek Saga card and the father-son Final Flash versus Cell would be very, very cool. And who knows what other ones will be in the game. I guess we will find out when we play. So let me know your thoughts and what you'd like to see down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.